It's Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad, and I am back with another single perfume review. And this one is a good one. It's a really good one, especially for this time of year. So what is it, you ask? Just hold on, show a little restraint, have a little patience. I'm about to tell you. So I don't know if this will give you any clue as to what the perfume is. Probably, you know, the title and the description box might tell you more than that. This is Lilac Dream by Marissa Zappas. And why did I order a lilac perfume, you may ask? Well, it just so happens that I'm kind of, anybody who lives in my city is a bit of a amateur expert. Anyway, because lilacs grow like weeds around here. In fact, so much so that the city I live in is called the Lilac City. We just had our annual lilac parade. They're everywhere. So if you live in my city, you are very familiar with the smell of lilacs. Oh, so nice. But here's the issue. I have tried, not a lot, but I would say, half a dozen perfumes that claim to be lilac perfumes, including one by Amouage. And either they were too powdery, or they were too sweet and smelled more like a soliflor that your grandmother would wear, lilacs are very distinct, in my opinion, their smell. Their aroma is beautiful. It's soft. I don't find it powdery though. But it's sweet, it's airy, it's kind of an innocent sweetness. It doesn't have a heavy depth to it, lilacs, but there is a bit of greenness to it. So I ordered a sample. No, I had a discovery pack, I think, of Marissa Zappas. And I think it was like the last one. I don't know if it was an official discovery pack or I just ordered a bunch of samples from her because I liked one of her other perfumes so well. Anywho, it was like the last one in the batch that I tried though, because I was like, yeah, Lilac Dream, whatever. And I went so wackadoo over it, I bought a bottle that night. Bing! So I'm going to spray a little more on. But this, I have to say, has one of the most realistic lilac accords. As I understand, it's a lilac accord. It's not actually, there isn't actually a lilac note. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because that used to kind of be the way I understood it. But things change over the years. And I don't always catch up. So, but this, now it's not straight lilac. There is some dreaminess to it. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. It's got that underlying green smell that you would smell if you stood out in my backyard, because everybody's backyard around here or front yard has at least one lilac bush in it. And we're not talking little tiny things either. These are things that shoot way over my head. I had to reach high to cut this off of our bush in the backyard. The lilacs seem to be a little later in their blooming. As I recall, they're usually full tilt boogie by this point, this time of year. And they're just, you can see, they're still budding. And this is the most bloomed one on my bush right now. So, anywho, squirrel. I don't think it has really any powderiness any more than a lilac itself does. But I can see people interpreting it that way because there's an etherealness, there's an airiness to it that I have had a tendency to associate with powderiness. But to me, powdery and airy are two different things. And this is more airy. Now, that doesn't mean that it isn't a really good performer, because it is really good. 2 sprays, I easily get 8 hours. It projects about arm's length. and then comes in after 2-3 hours into about elbow's length. I mean, it's not a beast mode. It's not a nose rocket. But this time of year, you don't really want that, do you? Oh, should I tell you what's in it? And I'm going off of Fragrantica because, again, I'm lazy. So it's petitgrain and bergamot, lilac, neroli, ambrette, vanilla, musk, and tonka bean. The longer it's on, I feel like the more gourmand it becomes, and the more of those green notes that come out. And it must be from the neroli and the petitgrain. But they're not too strong, but they're enough to give you the full picture. And then there's an underlying, like I said, kind of gourmandiness that happens. And I think it's because of the vanilla and the tonka bean. Lilacs smell innocent. But when that heat kicks in and they start baking in the sun a little bit and that aroma starts really permeating the air around here, you can tell that there's a hint. It's like a virgin who dreams of being a slut. Hasn't had the cherry popped yet, but the hormones are going crazy. I tend to think of the lilac note as a bit on the more feminine side. I shouldn't, but I do think this is just a touch on the feminine side. Not that anybody couldn't wear it, but I do feel because the edges are smooth and soft. And because lilacs to me, I just picture the aroma and the way they look is more fragile and delicate than, say, a rose, which is more robust. I just picture a little bit of femininity in there. Not that that means one damn thing, but that's just in my head. So, oh, it's so lovely. I just love lilacs. And this is so lovely. It's almost like you're smelling the bush as it's growing into the dirt as well. There's almost just this hint of soil, not dirty, but just that warm, earthy soil. I love gardening. I'm not very good at it, but I love it. We're about to plant our tomatoes into the planters and stuff like that, and basil and all the yada yada, and I love getting my hands in the dirt. And that smell of that fresh, clean kind of smelling dirt, you know, you don't want a pile of dog poop sitting in it, you know, that kind of changes the aroma just a touch. But that fresh, clean stuff, you know, that's poop-free. I find that to be a very pleasant smell. And this perfume kind of gives you that full body picture. And then it's almost like you've eaten a little bit of some kind of dessert, like maybe a almond cake or something, and that taste is still in your mouth as you're walking up to this full bloom lilac bush. Wow, that's a weird picture, isn't it? But you know, when you have food in your mouth and you're still chewing it and really enjoying it and savoring it, you can still smell it too. It's all connected. So, and that's kind of what I mean, is just that remnants of that gourmandy, almond cakey kind of a smell or taste in your mouth that kind of radiates up into your nose as you're approaching this very full bloom lilac bush. So, I know, I just repeated myself like 10 times, didn't I? Always so pretty. And I actually think this probably has the most realistic depiction of a lilac note or a chord of any of the perfumes I've smelled. But of course, I've already told you that it's only been like half a dozen. So there hasn't been that many that are focused on the flower of lilac. So I think this could be worn day or night. As far as night, it'd have to be more intimate settings, I should think. You know, formal dinners would be good, but it's also it also has enough lightheartedness to it that it could be for fun, you know, festive kind of occasions as well. It wouldn't compete with you know, big signature scents as far as going out clubbing or whatever, it wouldn't be a good competitor. But if you're in a smaller crowd, more relaxed kind of setting, I think this is just perfect. But daytime, absolutely. I think you could wear it during the day to work or whatever you do during the day. It's very versatile. And as far as the cooler temps, I'm not so sure. I like to wear more of my Beasley perfumes in the cold weather. So I'll probably put this one away after summer, but I am going to wear it this summer. I think it'll be great for the hot temps as well. Because again, I don't think it'll bloom in the heat. Even though it is sweet, it's not too sweet. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So the price is mid-range. I don't remember what I paid for it. It was like $120, $140, something like that for a 50 ml bottle. And I like the bottle. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing special. I think the top is a little weird. I don't really like kind of bulbous tops. It almost looks like an egg is blooming out of a flower or something. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not crazy about the top. And my other bottle, oh no, it's this one. The cap is so tight that the innards of the cap comes off. And it should go inside this, but it's not in there very tight. And so, but the fit is tight. So a lot of times when you pull it off, that happens. And then you gotta do that. And that's one too many steps between me and spraying my perfume. So I got to bitch about it, but that's it. That's the only complaint I have. Bottles are just, you know, it's a good sprayer. You know, it's just fine. I really recommend you get a sample of this and check it out. If you are like me and you like those springtime flowers, lilacs and daffodils and tulips and things like this, because it really does smell like springtime to me, no matter what part of the country you live in. Gorgeous stuff. So, okay, I guess that's about it. Hey, did you notice? Started new projects. I made this hat. I didn't make the hat, I just painted it. I was just experimenting, so I just threw some random shit on here, so to see if I'd never painted with fabric paints before, so I wanted to check it out and see if I liked using them and how to use them and stuff. So I had this plain white hat. I've got a plain black one too I'm gonna work on as well. And just thought I'd zhuzh it up. And I don't know if I'm done with it or not. Anyway, so fun, yay, it's a new hobby and I love doing it. So that's always a good thing. I guess I will see you soon. What do I have coming up? I have a lot, lots. I've added to the perfumes. I've gotten a bunch of samples and I fell in love with a couple of them, and so I just got them. I went wackadoo over Patchouli Magnetique by Mason Crivelli. This is so pretty. This is one of my new favorite patchoulis, and this is, if you like perfumes like Lovely Patchouli by Kriegler, this is one you're gonna dig. And I also have got just a little travel spray of Roger Dove's 51 Parfum. I like this, but I'm really surprised how poorly it performs. Who'd have thunk? Roger Dove. Come on now, as expensive as your perfumes are, they better perform really well. And I went wacko over a sample of Dolls by Moth and Rabbit. Oh man. Yeah, me likey this one very much. Oh, yes. So a review of that is up and coming as well. Okay, I guess that's about it. And I hope you come back. I really, really appreciate you being here. Subscribing is free. Hitting that like button if you want. That's free too. Just takes a little movement, a little dexterity. Anyway, I hope you come back. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. And use your own nose. Peace.